hear you. Thank you so much. For our drummers, take a break. We've got some speakers coming up, and we have Algonquin Elders Claudette Commanda to welcome us to Algonquin territory. Thank you so much. Claudette. This is Kitigan ZB's Claudette Commanda. Wherever you are most comfortable. Is it okay?
Hello. Is it not a beautiful day today? Queen, it's the way, Doug. Queen, the snobby. Honey, Miss Keezy, go and continue in addition to cars, get the gun, dibby, don't you, Bob? The dodgy, go on, the snobby, welcome. Welcome, all my brothers and sisters, regardless of what nation you come from, regardless of what corner of the world that your ancestors are from. I welcome you, all the people, to unsurrendered Algonquin territory, the land of my ancestors since time immemorial. It is such an honor to be standing before all you beautiful people. To the women that we acknowledge, to the women that we remember, for those that are not here, for those that we continue to search for, we honor you, our sisters. We honor you in memory. We remember you in prayer. To the families of the murdered and missing women, we hold you dear in our hearts, for we know your pain. We know your sorrow. To the people that are out here to support this great cause, we thank you. We thank you for standing here with the Anishinaabe Nation who organized this. Thank you, Chief Fiddler. Thank you to the women of the Anishinaabe Nation, the Women's Council. Thank you. Thank you so much for this. This is such an important event. We hold it dear in our hearts. It's very emotional. Because whether a certain segment of Canada denies that there is no problem here in this country called Canada, that there is not a problem of murdered and missing Aboriginal women. We know there is. We know that it is a national tragedy and disgrace, and it must end now. To Stephen Harper and his government, if he can find it in his consciousness and in his will to provide support and acknowledgement to the violence that goes on to women outside of this country, then surely he can find it in his heart to acknowledge what goes on here in this land called Canada, what is happening to our Aboriginal women and girls. It has been going on for far too long, and it must end now. I've been taught, and I'm sure many of you have been taught, that charity begins at home. And I say, before you can go and clean up someone's backyard, you better look in your own front yard first of all. My heart does have sympathy for violence against any woman. As a matter of fact, for violence against any person. Because there should never be violence against people. Should never be. We should live together as brothers and sisters. We should show kindness and love to one another. But I say that my heart is very heavy when I see certain governments that stands up and says, let us go and take care of what is going on in other countries. Let us take care, let us intervene, let us raise our voices to resolve the problems that are going on in other countries. And yet, you turn a blind eye to what is going on in this country here. Canada, who prides itself as a country of tolerance and peace and love, well, you know what? Start showing that peace and love to our Indigenous women and children starting today. So I thank our leaders from the opposition parties that are here that stand with our people. We need West for being here. We know your heart is in the right place. We know you feel for our people. We know that you are going to do something. You're going to continue to raise this very important, critical issue. And the issue of murder and missing Aboriginal peoples is just only one issue that we deal with, that we experience every day. We know that there are issues relating to land rights, treaty rights, education rights, and so on and so on. We know that. But when our women go murdered and our women go missing, where are our nations? Because we know that our nations are our women. Without our women, we do not have nations, and therefore we must raise the awareness. We must stop the violence against our Indigenous women and our girls. We must protect them. So our girls will grow into healthy women that will have an opportunity to live a very safe and carefree life, because our nation, the Anishinaabe people, regardless of what nation we come from, our nation depends on our women. And I love the families of these women, for you hold that strength and you give us that inspiration. To all of you that are here, to all of you that stayed on Victoria Island overnight, that beat your drums, that sang those songs, thank you. Chimiigwech. And we must continue to do so, continue to beat the drum, because in true essence, our drum beats in every day, and it is in our hearts. Thank you, all you people. Again, welcome to unsurrendered Algonquin land. Chimiigwech, Michiwego. Merci beaucoup, tous mes amis. Have a good day, and continue singing, and continue beating those drums. Thank you.
West Flood Dad. And so now we're going to hear from our Deputy Grand Chief, Alvin Fiddler of the Anishinaabe Oski Nation.
Chimiigwech, to the people of Siganzibi, Chief Gilbert White Duck, the elders, the council, all the members, for welcoming us into your territory and for allowing us to hold this very important ceremony in your land yesterday and today. 1,186. That is a number that was given to me last week by a senior official from the RCMP. That is the number that they've determined over the last 2 years after consulting with over 250 police services right across this country, to try and find and determine the number of missing and murdered women. And I think it's important for all of us to remember that it is not just a number. We are talking about real human beings, real human lives, with families right across this country. And many of them have been waiting for a long, long time to try to find some answers into what happened to their loved ones, to try and get some sense of justice and maybe even a sense of closure so that they can move forward with their own lives. That is why we are calling for this inquiry to happen. And we believe it will happen, because it has to happen. Before we can talk about justice and before we can talk about healing and reconciliation and achieving economic certainty for resource development to happen in our territories, for example, the Ring of Fire in Northern Ontario, we need to talk about justice. We need to talk about these missing women and their families. And we need to find a way how we can move forward so that they can also move forward. And so we call on Stephen Harper, his government, his cabinet, to listen. Just for a moment. Just pray. Listen to the drum, to the voices that you will hear today. Because the voices that you hear have been there for a long time. And it is time that you do the right thing. Do it today. Do it for the families. And do it for the whole country. Because it's not just the women's issue. It's not just an Aboriginal issue. It's an issue for the whole country. So we are calling on the Prime Minister's cabinet and the whole government to step forward and work with us. We agree that there is a need to develop a national action plan to address what's happening in our communities right across this country. But we believe also that a key cornerstone, a key building block for that national action plan is to have this national inquiry. That is why we're saying it's so important that if any plan is going to work to address this, that piece is so key to help build up that plan. And that's why we're here today supporting the Non-Women's Council and everyone that's here today, is that needs to happen. That needs to happen soon. And we're calling on you to help us, to support us in achieving that. Kiniwat dinak kumagayawat sa sabik siyan hindi. Kiniwat sebo naman kumagay sa gesto. Kaya dua duit sabik. Kiniwat kumagayawat kawannya korso duit kaganawat. Kaya duit kaganawat pagdebes kaganawat. Tapi sebab saya merasa kita and I think all the people that are here, the women's representatives, representatives from the other parties are joining with us and calling for this inquiry to happen. And I thank all of you for being here. And I'm very honored to be here today with my daughter, one of my daughters, Lynette. I saw her with her yesterday from Thunder Bay because I want our communities and I want our country to be a safer place for her when she grows up. I don't want her to become a number. I don't want her to become a part of the strategy that we're trying to address here today. And so I acknowledge all of you, and I thank all of you for being here. Viva.